Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. Welcome from me and my cat Millie. You might just hear her purring and see her tail on camera. She's jumped up. She sometimes does this to ground me before a reading. I realise that's why she's just done it, because there was a lot of noise here earlier this morning just due to renovation works going on nearby, so I couldn't do this reading. So I've jumped on now, hoping it'll be quiet. Let's hope. But anyway, you might hear Millie purring. So welcome everyone. Before I begin, just wanted to say thank you to those who are regular viewers. Thank you to my members as well. Just a note for members. Make sure you click the member tab on my channel just to see new things that come up, especially community posts. I think they might be missed sometimes. And in fact, there'll be a new Oracle message on there soon for all members, so check that out. If any of you would like to join my channel to show your support, please do. The link is below, the join button. Or if you'd like to join my new Patreon page, again the link is below, and on there you'll get exclusive content, some of which you won't see here on YouTube. I've started some new, I know I've said this recently, but I'll say it again, I've started some new podcasts and guided meditations recently to help people awaken and enhance their spiritual gifts. I've been guided to do those. So please check those out. They're either available for Patreon members or you can purchase them separately on my coffee shop rather. So the link's all in the description box. Check them out if you're interested. I just thought I'd mention that to begin with. So in this reading, I'm going to share some global predictions that have come through from a recent dream and visions. Now, it's really interesting. I had the dream a few nights ago and I woke abruptly at around 2 a.m. from that dream. And I remember it felt like I'd been nudged by spirit, and I was getting this urge from spirit come to me as I was awake. I was wide awake at that point. This urge that I had to do this reading. This had to be my next reading I was hearing. So there's obviously a reason for that. And here I am. Now, the main thing from the reading that came through was floods. As I'm in the UK, I feel it could be more about the UK, but not just the UK. In my dream, I was seeing a lot of destruction on a ceiling, and then everything collapsed and there was this massive flood. So I feel that could happen. Parts of the UK could go under eventually. And I also heard the song Redemption Song by Bob Marley that kept playing in my mind. Again, when I woke up as well, I kept hearing it. So something about redemption, you know, we will be saved from that time, I feel. Then in my visions, I was seeing other destruction, worldwide destruction. I have to share that. Hurricanes and storms will increase. We've obviously had storms. We had one here in the UK just recently. I know around the world there have been storms as well. I was really seeing California in the US. I was just seeing like these trees collapsing and like the road being really cracked and unstable. So a lot of destruction around the world. I can't say when, but for me to be seeing it, I'd say possibly quite soon. Also earthquakes. Again, that is something I've predicted in previous predictions. And sometimes when I've given these predictions, some of you will know, things have happened. We've had floods and earthquakes, for example. Spirit said to me, some will be saved many will perish. That's what came through. And the world, I was seeing it in my mind's eye as well, will be ripped in two, like someone literally ripping it. We're already experiencing this divide that's widening, this split. So what happens eventually with the split? You get two worlds coexisting, or maybe they completely rip apart and we have two different worlds. That's what I'm seeing. And I just want to show you this card here that's come out in quite a few of my recent readings. Some of you might remember. And this came into my mind's eye. It's really interesting, isn't it? Because the world literally there has split apart. And we've got someone here rising from the core of the world, actually making this happen, because we've divided so much. And in my vision, I was seeing the world on the right being sparkly, new and peaceful, and the world on the left being sombre and tormented. Now, some of you who are believers might know why it's specifically right for the good world and left for the not so good world. In terms of Christ, so I'm seeing this as Christ. And it made me think, when I had this vision, of a recent pamphlet I was sent by a church as a gift. I didn't ask for it, so I was really very grateful for this. Christ the Divider, and isn't that interesting? The line. So we're getting signs. I believe I was sent this, and they were guided by God to send me this as well. I would like to just read a little bit here that I thought was very pertinent as well, which will describe to you more this left and right. So I'm just going to check you can see this. Bear with me one moment. Okay, everyone, I'm back. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't too bright, because I know with paper that can happen. So it says, the right and left hands of Christ are of great significance in Scripture, as is evidenced by what Matthew writes. When the Son of Man shall come in his glory, and all his holy angels with him, then shall he sit upon the throne of his glory, and before him shall be gathered all nations, and he shall separate them one from another, as a shepherd divideth his sheep from the goats. And he shall set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then shall the king say unto them on his right hand, Come ye, blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. Then shall he say also unto them on the left hand, Depart from me, ye cursed, into everlasting fire, prepared for the devil and his angels. Matthew 25, 31 to 34 and 41. So I thought that was really relevant. I really was guided to share that with you all today. So basically, in a nutshell, the evil, corrupt, and non-believers in the world will go on the left. So choose which side you want to go on, and that will be your way out, basically, because this is why I keep seeing the two different worlds. I used to always see this sparkly garden in my dreams. I'd open the door and be this sparkly garden for a long time. But recently, because of the work that I do, Spirit is showing me the two different worlds that are going to happen. And I believe it's going to possibly be quite soon, quite imminent, when these changes happen. So that's why I feel I was really guided to do this particular reading. Now this leads me to the deception that I mentioned, this great deception in the world on the left side. On the right side it'll be different. As I said, so choose carefully. You know, it's maybe time to repent, to reflect, to look at why we're really here, who you really want to follow, who is our saviour as well. But in the deceptive world, I'm seeing this man. So it's interesting, we've got like one man here, but it's almost like there's going to be one for either side. So we've got Jesus returning on the right, but on the left we've got like the Antichrist. So read Revelation in the Bible to see where we're at. That's where I believe we're at. So the man on this side, I believe, is a shapeshifter. I've done a video before on shapeshifters, if you want to check that out, to see more information about how to spot them. The reason I say that is because that person is going to have some powers and claim to be a healer. I was seeing a man with a raised hand and it looks really swollen, deformed, sort of like that. And suddenly, before everyone's eyes, the public's eyes, there's this sparkling light and his hand goes back to normal and is healed. So he claims to be a healer, performs this miracle, so he thinks. But it's an illusion. I was hearing that's a sorcerer. Now, some will be fooled, but I feel many will awaken at that point. And they could be saved. But for those who sell their souls, they'll perish in that place. So this is kind of linking to the chip. This is where I feel it comes in. The chip that I've mentioned, the implant, that people will be told will be great for their health. That's the reason they need to take it, so it can like diagnose things in your body and heal you with this technology that he's shown people. And some, I feel, will go along with it because they're just too far gone. They're lost souls. So that's what I got, quite a lot from my dream and visions. That's come through, which really does link with, you know, prophecy and things in the Bible. It's kind of making sense the more that I'm reading it more recently, actually. I think others out there are as well. I think after Charlie Kirk's assassination, and I think that's all been for a reason, so that more awaken to their faith. We must have faith, but I'll ask you all, faith in what? What do you have faith in? So anyway, I'll leave it at that. But with this card, what I thought I'd do, you probably notice I've got 2 decks of cards. Let's just now go deeper and look at the two worlds and what then may happen. So we'll start with the left. I was just thinking before this reading about the word left in Italian. Those who speak Italian like I do will know that it's sinistra, and it made me think of sinister, often seen as the left side evil. So it's just quite interesting. I wonder if it comes from Latin. I'm not too sure, but I know a lot of Italian words, well, yeah, they do come from Latin, because I can sort of read a bit of Latin for that reason. So it probably is. If any of you know, let us know in the comments if you wish. So the left side, wow. Well, okay, first of all, we've got this energy, it sort of almost come out reversed. The Knight of Swords is the bringer of change. It's going to happen really quickly when this happens. And we've also got poverty, famine. People will lose their homes and be very confused. Yeah, with these two at the bottom of the deck. That's the energy I'm feeling. So yeah, it's going to be, after that destruction, just to go a bit deeper in terms of what I felt, this person that comes in is going to then be the leader, take over the whole world, claim to have, as I said, these healing technology and stuff. But those who don't sign up for the chip, the mark of the beast, essentially, which is in the Bible, they will be excluded. There'll be some who will awaken and say, no, we're not doing it. So as a result, there'll be famine, war. I'm seeing, I do sometimes get visions of war, complete destruction of the world. Change. A change will happen. It's interesting, we've got a ship there on a wave, like a storm. So as I said about the natural disasters, it's going to create change. Change in the financial system, I'm getting as well. Yeah, and it's interesting, isn't it? This is like that leader, the person that comes in on their horse. And I'm seeing people here revering this person. I meant to say that when they perform that miracle, which won't be a heavenly miracle, holy miracle, I believe it will be in public, not on a screen, because then people will believe it. And that's what we're seeing here as well. It's someone quite wealthy, they're already out there in the world, making sure that things are being set up now in the world for this to happen. Yeah, that's what I'm feeling. Just remembered what else came out in my visions, and that is that all governments, organisations, power structures will collapse after those natural disasters, and that's when this person who's very wealthy comes in to save the day. And people need to be mindful of, what they think, to who they look up to. I'm kind of looking at the crowd here. There are some who'll look up to him and some who'll talk and think, I don't believe him. So it will awaken some, and I think those people will then start to have faith again in God. Maybe some people will think this is their saviour, but I really don't feel it is. So just a heads up, if the future for any of you is one of destruction, like I've described, and someone comes along and says they're going to do all these things, be wary of what you're signing up to. because the end for those people will be, that they perish in an evil place. But anyway, let's not think about that too much. But I've got to call out what I'm seeing. We can't convert others, but we can hope that people will see the light. So let's see now on the right, the new world that I have seen in a lot of my visions and dreams, and it just looks wonderful. I'm just seeing it like all start from scratch. Yeah. Wow, as I said that, the Ace of Pentacles, see here the seeds growing, a new earth. Now this came out in my UK reading about digital ID for the higher timeline. So it's interesting it's coming out here for the higher timeline. A lot of pentacles. Now this is earth energy, grounded. We've got green here, showing us abundance, nature. It may take a while. I think people are going to learn new things in that world, and create new things as well, help to grow the new world. We're going to have leaders, inspiring people who learn and then teach, commit, very committed individuals who make it to that side coming through. We'll pull one more. Just start again, everyone. These cards get a bit stuck, so I don't use them so much now. Okay, I'm going to take those two. Wow, another pentacle. So we've got the Page, Knight and King of Pentacles. And the Moon as well. So a lot of energies, leaders as well, as I said, with the King here coming out. The Moon is feminine energy, firstly. It's also about trusting your intuition and hidden truths, the unknown. See how she's diving deep. And as I said about the learning, I believe that's what will happen. People will learn about what has really been going on for a long time in our world, before we can then, build the new, basically. I've just adjusted the camera a little bit, so hopefully you can see the cards a bit better. But yeah, definitely getting hard work, abundance. In fact, even a warm leader who might come in. So we're not going to have like loads of governments, but we might have one in particular who's quite well known. A lot of personal growth, prosperity, success coming out there. Let's just pull one more over there. So we've got 5 on each. 5 for change. Yeah, that one, let's come out. Well, the 7 of Pentacles. Now, we've got a lot of Pentacles over here as well. And this is about seeing something grow, seeds that you planted, but it's also about reaping what you sow. So see how he's looking down there and getting people reflecting on their past, potentially in that timeline and how they've got to where they are, and maybe having a big awakening. So, you know, I still see there's hope. But yeah, just depends sort of where you're at when we get to this split. So I thought it would be quite fitting to then pull a few from this deck for guidance for the collective. Spiritual guidance, what does the collective need to know? Wow, well that's interesting how they've fallen out over there. We've got 25, living light energy, see the beauty in life. Yeah, so like people who might be pessimistic, who don't have faith, you're being guided to try and change that perspective, to see the beauty in everything. So it's interesting how this looks like a city and it's really dull, destroyed. But then we've got this light here, so people might start to have faith. As I said, in that timeline, but do you really want to go to that timeline? And you've got ground your light as well. This came out in the last reading. Yeah, so aligning your chakras, seeing the light, trying to be optimistic. If you ground yourself, detach from social media and the media, what you see out there, don't get too drawn into it, because that's already the enemy at play, by the way. Setting everything up. Social media, using your phone to pay for stuff. You know, connect with people, share everything about yourself online. I've spoken about this in previous readings, check them out. I did one on social media. But if you detach, like I know a lot of you do, that view, but you'll see differently. You'll see that beautiful, positive future ahead. I mean, really with this reading, we're just seeing another outcome over here, another timeline. I don't want anyone to feel fear, but I'm sharing it because it's what I'm seeing. So just, yes, it says, let your soul shine. It's coming through. And then shine for others so that they may see the light. Okay, so anything else? Well, that one I wanted to come out. Yeah, we've got a few. So we'll take those two and this one. Wow. I was going to say this one for the middle. Look at what it says. There are two paths ahead. Wow. This card comes out a lot as well. I remember it came out in my predictions reading for 2025 that I did in 2024. And ever since, I've often got those two timelines come through. So, you know, if you've awakened, you have faith, you'll go that way. If not, you'll probably go that way. 30 is about being whole. The phoenix rising from the ashes there. Wow, we've got dark night of the soul, yeah. So a lot of people who reached that higher timeline have been through a dark night of the soul. They've faced their shadow. They've found purpose in their lives. There's meaning in their life. We've got 11. You might have kept seeing 1111, repeated numbers, which is how it all started for me as well. So it's people who've been through that dark night, really reflected, gone deep, not stayed shallow surface, maybe not fitted in with people around you, but that's because you're not here to fit in. You have a purpose, which is possibly to be here to light the way for others. Yeah, and we got cosmic ancestors as well. You might receive signs or dreams from your ancestors and spirit guides. And And the message here is voice your concerns. Yeah, speak up with others about what you feel. You know, trust your intuition in terms of this reading, obviously in what I'm sharing, but if you feel it, if you feel we're moving, you know, towards these two different worlds that's come out here, just look at what's happening in the world already. To come to that conclusion, the digital ID, you know, it's rolling out now, more and more countries. It's being put in place for that guy to come into power eventually. But some will be saved, as I said, and go in that direction. Now, at the bottom of the deck, we've got channel your knowledge. There you go, you see. This is why I've been guided, as I said, it all happens for a reason, to do these podcasts and meditations to help you to do this, to awaken your third eye, connect with your spirit guides. That's where you'll get the guidance. That's why when I received guidance, like that dream I was woken up from, I knew how urgent this was. And it will help you with your judgment as well in terms of what's real, what's fake. Because there are people out there who are believing the fake stuff that's going out, which is all by the dark forces to manipulate, distract, obstacles put in people's way as well, sharing too much information which confuses people. So yeah, that's your guidance. You know, channel. If you want to know answers, that's how. From your dreams, you could write it down. Some of you might be musicians, you might write it in a song, a poem. If you're creative, draw it in a painting, for example, which I'm really getting now, coming through. That can be a way to channel. So a lot of guidance there, but obviously it's up to you. But I really was urged, as I said, to do this reading. We've got 27 breaks down to 7. Sorry, 25. Can't do my maths today. 25 breaks down to 7. That's an 8. 18 breaks down to 9. 10 and 11 over there. So we've got this synchronicity, this progression. Things are speeding up. I really feel. So there you go. I've done my job for the day, thankfully with not too much noise. Thank you so much for being here. Let us know your comments and thoughts about this. What do you think about what's going on at the moment in the world, where we're at, where we're going? Have faith, see the light, let your soul shine, as it said there as well. Trust your intuition. So I'll leave that there. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you soon.